Hi, Randy Ora with Berkshire Hathaway and the Ora Group here in Laguna, Niguel, California. If you are thinking about selling, this is information you're going to want to know. Stay tuned. Before we go any further, please subscribe, please like, please comment. It does help my channel, and this way you will always be informed as to new information that I have to share about real estate. So let's talk about timing just a little bit. Timing meaning the time of the contract, when it expires, and what timing response should be. Keep in mind that you, the seller, you only have one property to sell. The buyer has yours and others to consider. So it's in your best interest to make sure that the buyer's interest is kept at its peak. We know from psychology that hesitancy evokes the emotion of weakness. So you don't want to hesitate, you don't want to delay, you don't want to stall the response time as the seller. So the default of the contract, unless the agent writing the contract for the buyer puts an exception to the time, the default is 3 days. Keep in mind, in real estate, the first day is always day zero. So let's say today you receive an offer on your home. Today is day zero. By default, you have 3 days in which to respond. I suggest you do not take the entire 3 days and you respond as quickly as possible, the same day if possible. Now, don't be caught off guard as a seller, and don't take offense if the buyer's agent puts a much shorter timeline than the 3 days. That would be a good strategy on their part, and your agent should explain to you that it is very common for the agent writing the offer for the buyer to put a shorter timeline. We as agents in the business know that a quick volley back and forth is in everybody's best interest, especially you, the seller, because you have your property to sell, they have your property and others to consider. So we're actually vulnerable as the seller because we don't know if we do give a counter, if they're going to walk, accept, or counter. They always have 3 choices, and we just don't know where their interest level is. But let's try and keep it at the highest level, which means a quick response time and fast volley back and forth. If you get a counter to your counter, then you're going to want to respond quickly, if that makes sense. Each of those offers and counters, the default is 3 days. So if you get an offer and you wait 3 days and you send it back, and they wait 3 days and they send it back and you wait 3 days, that really stretches out the timeline, and we know that interest falls and lowers on behalf of the buyer more than the seller. So keep that in mind when you're in negotiation. Randy Orr with Berkshire Hathaway, changing lives one home at a time.